we'll talk about the age of Aquarius because I think we
Yeah,
didn't really talk. So the thing is that a lot of people believe this is the beginning of the age of Aquarius.
Right.
And the astrological ages are approximately 2,000 years.
Right.
Okay. We're going into a 20-year Aquarian cycle and a 200-year air period. So it could feel like we're going into the age of Aquarius because we are going into Aquarian period. And the next few years, we're going to have Mercury retrogrades in air signs. We've got eclipses in air signs. So we are going definitely, it's a lot of air coming up. But as far as the 2,000-year air period, there's a big question mark around that because the marker for the age of Aquarius is debated. You know, if you base it on the, I'm just going to say some technical stuff because some people might know what I'm talking about. If you base it on the precession of the equinox, the precession of the sidereal zodiac, it's still like another 200 years till we go to the age of Aquarius.
Right.
But it's reasonable for people to think that this is the beginning of the age of Aquarius because this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction happens right at the beginning. This is another important thing we didn't mention yet. Not only is it on the solstice, it's at 0 degrees Aquarius. So the week leading up to that, Jupiter and Saturn are switching from Capricorn to Aquarius. And then bam, they have the conjunction right at the beginning of Aquarius. So the 0 degree of any sign also reflects powerful new beginnings.
Right.
And this is the closest Saturn and Jupiter will be in like almost 800 years. So it's reasonable for people to think that this is a planetary representation or a planetary representation of the age of Aquarius, but the ages are not based on planets.
Yeah.
So it's iffy. Maybe it is, right? And there's a lot of astrologers. If you look at astrology texts from before 200 years ago, as far as I know, there's no mention of the astrological ages. It's only in the last few hundred years.
Yeah.
So now maybe I'm not 100% sure, but that's the word on the street.
It's a word on the street.
So there's a lot of like hardcore like traditional astrologers that don't even talk about the ages. I never hear them mention the ages. It's more like new age kind of fluffy astrologers that talk about it.
Yeah.
Now I think the ages might be relevant. I'm on the fence. I'm not 100% sure, but I lean towards maybe we are going into Aquarian age, but does it actually start right now? I don't know. Either way, we're on the cusp of it. Either way, it's not important. But on a smaller cycles, on the smaller cyclical part of it, we are definitely going to Aquarian part. So it can feel like the age of Aquarius. Yeah. So just to kind of summarize is that, again, Aquarius isn't a spiritual sign.
Right.
It could be. There's a lot of spiritual Aquarians, but Aquarius is very much science.
Right.
So we're coming out of the Piscean age, which is more spiritual than Aquarius. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So there's a lot of question marks around that. So I get kind of annoyed when I see some people, like especially some astrologers, say with confidence, like, "Oh, we're beginning the age of Aquarius." You know what I mean? And age of enlightenment. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Are you sure we're entering the age of Aquarius? And are you sure that you want that? Do you want transhumanism? Do you want AI? Do you want, like us being hooked up to technology and mRNA vaccines and all that stuff, right? So, but anyways.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because I like you sometimes have like these frustrations at times with and it's not like, I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated. It's more so it's just like sometimes it's hard to communicate. That's what I think happens. Like when you have like new age stuff and conspiracy stuff and we get these like hard, fast positions, like anytime people are taking like these hard, fast positions on something, it becomes difficult to communicate because now when you're saying what you're saying about the age of Aquarius, people are filtering it all through like maybe that YouTube video they watched that was like, oh yeah, we're entering into this golden era that's just going to suddenly change everything. And for me, kind of, I guess the thing that becomes difficult is like, I feel, and I'm curious to get your take on this, but like, I feel so much of what we're going through change wise on this planet it's going to take time, right? We have to get engaged in it.
Yeah.
We have to create it. We have to be part of it. Right. Yet it feels like there's a big group of people that are just waiting for that age of Aquarius to just kind of dawn it all upon us. Right. Yeah. And that's kind of like the part where you're just like, we can't sit back and just like wait for this stuff. This is only like and maybe this is a good way of looking at it, but is this just kind of like you know, like the cherry on top of the work that you have to do anyway. Like it's kind of going to give you a little bit of extra energy to do this work to really create the change that you want to create within yourself. Is that how you view it?
Yeah. Well, the change has to work through us. It's not just going to happen externally. It's not like aliens are going to show up and they're going to change. I hope it does happen.
Yeah.
Aquarius actually might be aliens, like us actually communicating with aliens.
Well, I think that's on the way for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And, you know, and I hope they bring teleportation, and so we don't have to sit in traffic and stuff like that.
Right.
But
will you have to get a vaccine to teleport though? Will you have to get
I don't know. I hope not. Yeah, there'll be a teleportation vaccine.